Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a story that reads like something out of a political thriller, but unfortunately, it is all too real. General Shadrack Sibiya, a figure who has been no stranger to controversy, was recently intercepted at the airport while attempting to leave the country. The incident has sent shockwaves through political and military circles and raised serious questions about accountability, corruption, and the state of law enforcement in South Africa. According to sources close to the investigation, General Sibiya was stopped just as he was about to board his flight. Authorities immediately seized his passport, preventing him from leaving the country. This action comes in the midst of an ongoing investigation into his alleged criminal record and numerous corruption charges. The timing could not be more critical, as the nation faces heightened scrutiny over political misconduct and the public's growing frustration with figures of authority who seem to operate above the law. Now, you may be wondering, what exactly led to this dramatic airport scene? Well, it appears that Sibiya, who has long been under investigation for several questionable activities, may have believed that fleeing the country would offer him temporary protection from the legal consequences of his actions. But this move backfired spectacularly. Authorities, fully aware of the stakes and the high-profile nature of the case, acted swiftly. By seizing his passport, they not only stopped him from leaving but also sent a clear message that no one is above the law, no matter how high-ranking they might be. This development raises a number of critical issues. First, there is the question of why someone like General Sibiya, with a known criminal record and pending charges, was allowed to travel in the first place. Was there a lapse in internal security protocols? Or was this an attempt to exploit a loophole that could have allowed him to evade justice? Either way, the incident highlights a serious vulnerability in the system and has sparked widespread debate about oversight and accountability within South African institutions. Moreover, this event has broader political implications. General Sibiya has long been a figure with connections in both military and political circles. His attempted departure could easily be interpreted as an effort to avoid facing scrutiny not just from law enforcement, but also from political investigators and watchdogs. South Africans, who are increasingly weary of corruption and the abuse of power, will likely see this as another example of high-ranking officials attempting to escape justice. The public reaction has been swift and vocal, with many calling for stricter measures to prevent similar incidents in the future. But let's not forget the more personal, human angle of this story. Imagine being the official responsible for stopping a man like Sibiya, who has held significant authority, from boarding a plane. The tension, the calculations, the sudden scramble to prevent a potential international incident, it's the kind of scene that feels straight out of a movie. Some sources even describe it as a chaotic moment at the airport, with authorities coordinating to ensure that Sibiya could not slip past them, while curious onlookers speculated wildly about what was unfolding. It's the perfect example of real-life drama that surpasses fiction. Now, what happens next for General Sibiya? Being refused the right to leave the country is only the beginning. With his passport seized and ongoing investigations into corruption and criminal conduct, the legal ramifications could be significant. He faces potential criminal charges, and if the courts find him culpable, he could be looking at severe penalties. The investigation is likely to dig deeper into his network, potentially uncovering more individuals connected to questionable activities. And given his high profile, these revelations could reverberate throughout South Africa's political and military landscape. This case also serves as a warning to other high-ranking officials who might consider evading justice. The interception of General Sibiya reinforces the message that authorities are now more vigilant, and that attempts to exploit weaknesses in the system will not go unnoticed. In a broader sense, it is a reminder that South Africa is in the midst of a turning point where accountability and transparency are becoming non-negotiable, even for those who have previously operated with impunity. For ordinary South Africans, this story is more than just political theater. It is a reflection of the ongoing struggles against corruption and mismanagement in positions of power. The public has long demanded stricter oversight and more aggressive prosecution of officials who abuse their authority. The incident at the airport is likely to reignite debates about reform, legal enforcement, and the measures necessary to prevent influential individuals from escaping justice. And let's not overlook the ripple effects this could have in the international arena. News of a high-ranking official attempting to flee the country could impact diplomatic relations, raise questions about South Africa's governance, and even affect investor confidence. Transparency and adherence to the rule of law are critical for maintaining a stable and attractive environment for foreign partnerships and trade. Any perception that officials can evade accountability undermines that stability, making incidents like this all the more concerning. Humorously, one could imagine General Sibiya's own thought process, booking a flight, hoping to bypass the spotlight, only to be caught at the very threshold of escape. It's the kind of irony that has political commentators and citizens alike shaking their heads and wondering how some people think they can outsmart the law. This is exactly the type of story that blends real-world gravity with a hint of absurdity, making it both compelling and cautionary. As this story unfolds, we will continue to monitor every development, including updates on the investigation, legal proceedings, and potential political fallout. South Africans deserve to see justice served and to understand the mechanisms by which figures like General Sibiya are held accountable. So, what do you think about this shocking airport interception? Could General Sibiya have avoided this fate, or was it inevitable that the authorities would catch up to him? How will this impact public trust in law enforcement and political institutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this story. Thank you for watching, and remember, staying informed is the first step toward holding those in power accountable. See you next time.